let me get to the last article here. And this is going to be on boot camps, guys, because I shared with you my goals for this year. And, something that came across my desk this week is boot camps. And matter of fact, I had an interview with the University of Texas, their coding boot camp on full stack development, because that's something that I want to learn and get more involved in. Because guys, you guys know my background, start off as a software engineer and so forth. And I've really been out of the technical game for quite some time. And it's important for me to stay close to this, but also to be able to create content around some of this stuff as well too, right? So I'm going to do a boot camp this year. Either I'm going to be starting in February or March. Texas one starts in March. Georgia Tech starts in February. And I have to pick between both schools. I was looking at UC Berkeley. I had three. UC Berkeley was my number one, then Georgia Tech, and then University of Texas. Guys, I eliminated UC Berkeley because I'm just not in the California school district, or, I've never gone to any school in California. Georgia Tech would be good because I can always say that, that I did that also with my MBA or something like that, and just tweak my resume to make it seem like that, right? And Georgia Tech is still a contender, but UT Austin is another one too, because I love to have, it's local, although it's virtual, it's local, and I support Texas that way as well too. So I had my interview with UT Austin. They sent me the application. They basically said, Antoine, you're the great candidate for our part-time program, and it's going to cost you X amount of money. This is where it starts. Fill out your application, send your $1,000 deposit in, and we'll get you started in March. I said that'll be perfect. So that's what I'm going to be doing, guys. But I wanted to share that with you guys because I'm going to be doing a boot camp, and this is about an article about a gentleman who did a boot camp that was able to get in top-notch companies like Apple and so forth. And in these boot camps, they have career advisors and so forth that will help you land a job at a top company. It's going to be interesting once I do this boot camp, what happens within my career, or if I choose to do anything with it besides help build the Black Heights brand. So let me get to the article, guys. Here we go. Okay. I got into Apple and other tech companies through a coding boot camp and without a college degree. Here's what you need to know before choosing a program. So here's a gentleman who, got into tech, and he got in at the developer level, and he chose to do it without going to college. And now, guys, I'm gonna tell you like this: this is a good way of doing it. This is certainly a good way of doing it. You want to become a developer? Why spend 4 years going to college to become a developer when all you really need to do is learn how to code? And when you go to college, you're going to spend 2 years of your life doing gen ed courses that really isn't going to make you any better at coding. Okay. So the bloat of just going to a boot camp and getting rid of the college components of it's going to save you a lot more money, and it's going to save you a lot more time. So Dan Molitor is a software engineer who's worked for Apple or at Apple since completing a coding boot camp. He says that the boot camp jump-started his career in tech, but they're not for everyone. Before jumping in, Molitor suggests trying out coding on your own first and reading reviews to avoid scams. So basically, he's saying this: if you really want to get into tech and you're thinking about a boot camp, do some research. Guys, because there's a lot of people out here selling courses and boot camps that are absolutely scams, and they don't have graduates coming from out of that school getting jobs and things like that. Ultimately, you want to do a boot camp. You should have a goal coming out of a boot camp and wanting to do a boot camp in the first place. It may be your entrance into tech, like it was for Dan. It may be getting a new job. It may be switching careers. You should have a goal before you even complete a boot camp. But once you have your goal defined, you should then do a lot of research on the type of boot camp that you should be potentially going to, because there are many out there that are scams and so forth. And he's also saying that while doing your research, before even doing a boot camp, try to self-teach yourself. Because there's ways that you can gain these skills without spending the money for a boot camp as well. You can use Coursera, Udemy. There's courses out there. It's cost $16 through Udemy to learn how to become a full stack developer. All right. There's ways that you can do it. It's a lot cheaper than going to a boot camp. or you can self-teach yourself. So that's what he's trying to say within this article. But let me get to it. I was burning out as a music producer in Los Angeles before I decided to switch careers and break into tech. One of my friends knew I worked on little programming projects for fun, and he said I should look into Hack Reactor's coding bootcamp. Their site boasted a high hiring rate and a solid average starting salary for those who completed their 12-week program. Since I started Hack Reactor in 2016, I've worked both at Apple. I've worked both at smaller startups and major tech companies like Blackboard Inc. and Apple. I was already in my mid-20s at the time, so the alternative of spending 4 years studying to get a computer science degree didn't feel right to me. Makes sense, right? If you're trying to decide between going to college or a boot camp, here's what you should know. Here's again, guys. He's giving us this information. It's coming to us from Business Insider, where I get a lot of information from. The boot camp took 12 weeks to complete, and it was mainly focused on JavaScript programming language. It's an intense schedule with classes lasting 12 hours or 11 hours a day, 6 days a week. That's a lot, guys. I can tell you this right now. If you want to get into tech and you're going to do a boot camp full time, you can't work any other job. You can't work any other job. Maybe you can, Superman, but it's going to take a toll on yourself. Even me, considering this part-time one, or going to do this part-time one because I'm going to do it, it's 30 hours a week, guys. So, of course, there's going to be a drop-off in production on YouTube. It's going to be a drop-off production in other parts of my life. Yeah, I mean, that's a sacrifice you have to make. 30 hours a week, including class time. It's for a part-time program with somebody who's working full-time, as well as running the company, as well as being a husband and a dad, as well as running a YouTube channel. It's a lot. But this gentleman says in the full-time program, it's 11 hours a day, 6 days a week. That's hard. That's very hard. So it's an intense schedule. The students start as juniors and learn computer science and JavaScript fundamentals. We usually started with a small exercise followed by theoretical learning and ended with working on a project of some sort. In the second half of the program, the students became seniors and began working on larger projects, honing in their skills and learning what it's like to work on a team. It took about 9 months after completing the boot camp until I got my first full-time job offer. Wow. You think about that. You spend a good 6 months doing a boot camp, right? Learning all these tools. But it takes 9 months after completing the program in order for him to get his first job. That's tough. That's tough to hear. Now, there could have been things that he was doing while in the program to set himself up for getting a job directly after applying and so forth. But his focus is probably just like a lot of the seniors who are in school right now or juniors and so forth, just getting out of school, not doing internships, right? But you have to make sure that you balance that as well, too. When you're in these programs, you got to be looking for jobs. You got to be posting your projects. You got to be posting your portfolio. So it took him about 9 months after completing the boot camp until I got my first full-time job offer. Once the program ended, I spent a few months building out a web application for a family member and then worked as a web developer in a startup before landing a job at Blackboard Inc. Many of my classmates at Hack Reactor got jobs right away at companies like AngelList, SigFig, and others. That's good. It looks like there's a good amount of people who got a job right away. It looks like he kind of did his own little thing. That's why there was a 9-month gap. But that's good for him. It looks like he was still developing his skills and talents. But before applying to a boot camp, take free or inexpensive programs online. Websites like Code Academy, Udemy, Pluralsight offer great intro courses to learn different fields, technologies, and languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SQL, and more. Also, by taking some of these courses, you'll be able to see if you even enjoy coding. It's important. Many of you want to be a software developer. Check out first if you like coding. A way to do it, self-teach yourself or check out some of these other websites that's going to give you some exposure to it. All right. Many of you are MIS majors as well, too. If software engineering is what you want to get into and you got your taste of coding in the MIS program, and let's just say you liked it, well, you can continue to explore that with electives, but you can also continue to explore that with some of these websites that exist out there: Udemy, Code Academy, Pluralsight, Coursera. You can continue to build on your skills and your fundamentals, because a lot of times you're going to come out of school with just an introduction to this stuff. And if you want to be better, at it, then you're going to have to give yourself the opportunity to do more in it. But it's better to discover that the career is not for you before you invest in a boot camp. I agree with that, guys. I agree 100%. Explore first. If this is something that you like, then commit. If it's something that you don't like, then don't commit. It's going to save you money. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you from quitting. Okay. But years ago, people doubted that someone could really be ready to do the job of a developer without a 4-year degree. But now it's much more accepted. During my time at Apple, my team consisted of college graduates, bootcamp graduates, and some with no formal higher education. When it comes down to it, the most important thing is whether or not you can do the job. By the time I completed Hack Reactor, I had learned and used the most popular technologies and frameworks out there. Meanwhile, I've seen college graduates come out on top with 4-year universities with little practical experience. After receiving the training I did at Hack Reactor, I felt confident that I could join a team and hit the ground running. Going to college obviously has unique benefits. You won't learn as much theory at a boot camp as you would at college, which I personally think that that's the whole thing about computer science degrees. You're going to give you a whole bunch of theory. Yet typically you're not going to be able to apply it to the real world. But, it's the way that our system works today, and a way that you can network as well, too. So college has a lot of benefits that, we may not talk about a lot of the times. I prefer that route, to be honest with you. I prefer the college route because there's so much that you can learn, and there's so many benefits to going there, from building a network to just learning how to commit to something, to showing your level of commitment when you go to college. I mean, like, it's a commitment of 4 years, right? But data structures, algorithms, and operating systems and networks are just a few of the core concepts of computer science. A bootcamp might only touch on these. You also have a massive network of students, professors, and alumni at your fingertips. Many of the most famous tech companies were started by people who attended the same college together. So yes, he's talking about the benefits of, going to college, where you have universities and alumni and professors and a network of students. And a lot of the people who go to colleges, or a lot of these people who are working in some of these startups, they went to certain schools, right? Now, a lot of people say they're dropouts, but that's only a few, maybe a handful. But if you feel like attending a boot camp, if you feel attending a boot camp does make sense for you, the next step is finding the right one. I love Hack Reactor, but some people exit these programs feeling like they wasted their time and money. I believe that as long as you choose a reputable boot camp, your experience will be what you make of it. First, you should read reviews from the previous students and look at their student outcome statistics. Very important. Are they getting jobs? Are they landing in the fields or at the companies that, they want to be at? Are they prepared? If a boot camp doesn't give out their outcome information, avoid it. A lack of transparency is not a good sign. Boot camps should have a straightforward pricing model. I've heard of some boot camps that actually want a cut of your salary once you get your first job. That's another one to avoid. Yes, I saw that, guys. I read that on a review as well, too. Certain boot camps, guys, do your research. Do your research is what this our whole article is about. And I've been looking at boot camps and been reading the fine print, because there are some of them that exist out there. I haven't run across many of them because I'm kind of going through the college route. And if the college is saying that these boot camps are good and I'm reading reviews, that's kind of the route that I'm going to take, because I like the brand of a reputable university. But there's other ones that aren't affiliated with colleges and so forth. And there's some that exist out there that says, hey, you know what? Like, if you graduate from this boot camp and you get a job, we want to cut your salary for the first year. That's garbage. Think about this. You go and become a developer making $98,000 a year, yet you got to give $10,000 of your salary to this boot camp, right? I mean, like, that's just garbage, right? It's a scam. So avoid those guys. But here's the thing he's saying. You should feel totally comfortable and confident with the boot camp that you choose. Hack Reactor and General Assembly are two that I think are well recognized and reputable. Okay. And I'll leave this article in the description of this video as well. But he's saying Hack Reactor and General Assembly. I say this. I've heard of Hack Reactor before. I haven't heard of General Assembly. But do your research on these if you're going to consider yourself going to a boot camp for machine learning, become a full stack developer, any software engineering, data analytics, and so forth. But most boot camps are designed to give you the skills required to start a career. But keep in mind that it's only the start. Even if you complete a boot camp or receive your college degree, the learning doesn't stop there. That's right. He's basically saying, guys, you got to commit. You got to commit to learning, commit to improving, commit to on your grind, commit to climbing the ladder, guys. That's ultimately what he's saying. So if you have to drive to learn and get better every day, you'll go far. The final step is decide if it's worth your time and money. I know for me, it was the best decisions I've ever made. So guys, that's what I wanted to share today in this live stream. I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream today. I wanted to make sure that I got this information out, and wanted to make sure I was going to stay at the hour mark because of the fact that we are on our way to St. Louis. Ms. Wade has said by 10:30 you should be out of your live stream. You start at 9:30 so that we can get in the car and get to driving, guys. I want you all to have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for all the super chats. Guys, we will see you soon. Hey, check it out. Become part of the Patreon. Support us. If you want to get your coaching done, check out the Black Heights website as well, too, www.blkheights.com, to reach out to me as well. Guys, until next time, peace.